And well, Koi, 2017 in sports, was it a good year or bad year for you?
I would say a bit of both. I mean, Kenya losing the bid to host CHAN was quite heartbreaking for all of us, but we just won the Sekafa Senior Cup. That's our best performance in the year, so I'd say good and bad.
Very good. And in fact, in that Sekafa Senior Challenge Cup, one person, of course, who was instrumental in that win is Patrick Matasi. And also not forgetting the fact that Malkia Strikers did go ahead and hold the Kenya flag high in the Continental Championships. It all happened in 2017, and in studio, we do have guests with us to tell us more about that year in sports and what they think. Karibuni sana. Yep. We have, of course, Patrick Matasi himself. By the way, congratulations, Baba.
Well done.
Super performance. Yeah. And also Mr. Mbaisi is here. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Yep. And of course, not forgetting Tim. You're back again.
Thank you very much.
Color coordinating.
Tunajuana kwa vilemba, so let me start, of course, with the most recent victory for, of course, the Harambee Stars. Patrick Matasi, how was that win for you?
For me, that win was superb because concerning the preparation that I had since January up to right now, it was superb.
Yeah. Mr. Mbaisi, 2017 for you in a nutshell, what stood out in sports?
I'll say a little bit of mixed fortunes. We blew hot and cold, as Koya said. Yeah. I think hosting events like the World Under-18 Championship was a plus, but again, missing out on the CHAN was a little bit of a negative. So I think we had mixed fortunes.
What about you, Tim?
I think what stood out for me the biggest was the World Under-18, successfully hosting the competition in Kenya, especially at a time when the so-called superpowers, United States, United Kingdom, said that they can't come to the championship because of what they call security concerns. Yes. We successfully hosted the tournament. Our athletes performed well despite the fact that we couldn't make it to number one. But hosting that particular championship showed the world that Kenya can host anything. It's a heartbreak that we couldn't host CHAN in January next year. It's a huge heartbreak for football fans and players like Matasi here. But hopefully we've learned our lessons from the past year and forward and upwards in 2018.
Patrick Matasi, of course, SportPesa Premier League, it did. And how was the season for you? And are there any things that you think should change in the next season?
The season has been okay. The only thing I could request to change in terms of matches, the league started a little bit late. So what they should do is the league should start at the right time, because we've been playing on Wednesdays and weekends. The traveling from Western to Mombasa or Nairobi, Nakuru on Wednesdays and weekends. So the players, we were very tired because of the fatigue. So if you compare this year with next year, I would request the KPL stakeholders to at least make the league be competitive and give players some rest, because it has been somehow tricky.
Okay. Because I can imagine, of course, with the schedules, it can be a bit tricky, of course, especially if your team is coming from far and you have fixtures all over the country. And for, of course, next season coming up, how do you see the performance? Posta Rangers, are you aiming for something that is better than this season?
Right now we are in festive season, So when we will start our pre-season training, the coach will come up with his plans, and then we players shall sit down and say we want something or we want this thing, So we shall come up with what we want when we start the pre-season next year.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, still on Patrick, Kenya won. I mean, Sekafa. How did it feel for you?
Kenyans do normally expect more from national team. I've worked with the FC Leopards fans, and it was that day that Kenyan fans or Kenyan people came to the stadium to watch what was going on, because we were in the finals. So I've been working under pressure when I was in FC Leopards, but on Sunday I was not under pressure, because our opponents equalized the goal on 87th minute. The whole stadium was like quiet, because we are already celebrating the win. We were leading 1-0, then the opponent equalized. The second half of extra time, I told my players, let's just defend we would rather go to penalties, because I had told them if it's penalties, just score. Then I'll just save some penalties for the team. Yeah.
Hey, nice. Nice.
And you did, and you did, as I'm always calling.
2017, one thing that we've noticed is the emergence of Kenyan sides playing against Premier League sides. There was, I think, the Gor Mahia team that played against Everton, then you had the SportPesa All-Stars against Hull City. How important are these friendly matches in terms of, for you, and in terms of these teams and improving their qualities?
The biggest advantage of playing such teams is exposure, because I'll give an example with the Gor Mahia versus Everton game.
Yes.
It was beamed all over the world, and Wayne Rooney scoring made the match even bigger.
Yeah.
People who'd never heard of Gor Mahia heard of Gor Mahia. Very many people saw those players playing, and it's such a big thing for these players to get to play at such a stage, because you can tackle any opponent. Also, the players gain in terms of you playing against, for example, a defender playing against Wayne Rooney. That's arguably one of the best strikers in the world. So
yes.
You get out of there, you're not the same player you are. I'll go back to the Hull City game, the SportPesa All-Stars versus the Hull City game. Matasi was in goal. And I remember speaking to him after they came back from that game.
Yes.
And he said the amount of experience he amassed from those
Just
90 minutes, from those 90 minutes was more than what he has amassed in his whole career. And I believe that he's become a better player since that game. And I should think more players should go out there. More such games should be organized.
Is there a sport you feel that needs more support and more exposure? Because the talent is there, it's just that we're not talking about it as much.
A number of events needs a lot of support. We are talking about even volleyball, who still perform well, and we don't support them fully. You remember just the other day, Harambee Stars won Sekafa, and the next day they were at the VP's place being feted and given all kinds of money and all that.
Yes.
Volleyball came from the Africa Championship, where they finished second, and they also qualified for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Nobody talked about them. Nobody cared, apart from small money from SportPesa. So I think we should balance these things and set schemes for all sports, because some of them feel unwanted, and that is why people leave school, and when they come out here, if you are a good hockey player, you are thinking, why should I continue playing when hockey has nothing? Everybody wants to be in a Harambee Stars, where when they win, everybody notices. Everyone wants to be in athletics. When they win, they're at State House. So I think it's something that should change to encourage all sports.
For you, 2017, of course, has been, a bit of good, a bit of bad. But what do you take home? What lessons have we learned in sports from this year?
The biggest lesson for me, I will take from this year is preparation and planning. I'll single out Chan. It hurts most football stakeholders up to this moment. It was a big opportunity for players, for journalists, for fans to have that tournament coming home. But we failed to host that tournament because we couldn't plan and we couldn't get ourselves ready for that tournament. So it's a big lesson we've learned. It's the second time Kenya failed to host a big event because of the same reasons. Coming into next year, definitely we'll bid for bigger things. I think we're bidding for the 2021 World Athletics Championships. Let's start planning from now. We've learned from Chan. We didn't plan well. We lost it. Let's take the lesson to 2018 and beyond, and be better planners, be better equipped to host, because the World Under-18 showed us that we can host bigger things. So let's take the lessons and go.
Okay, for me, what I can say is that early and good preparation is just the key for everything. If you look at the way we prepared for Sekafa, it was only 1 week. We were playing the league. But if we prepare early and good preparations, each and everything will be just successful.
With that, we have to unfortunately say kwaheri on Sports Central this evening. However, remember, you don't need to wait until next week to catch up with episodes of the show. You can do so on our YouTube channels and, of course, on the social.
Because it's the last show of the year.
Yes.
We have to say Merry Christmas is over, but we want to say a very, very happy 2018. And until then, keep it Sports Central.